Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. We are slogging through some technical difficulties, and we are going to hope that we're able to screen record instead of putting pictures up. So just bear with me. If it works out, it works out. If not, it doesn't work out. But hey, guys, today we have an article coming to us from the Detroit Free Press, and that is 5 questions Detroit Lions must start, 5 questions the Detroit Lions must tackle in the 2025 offseason, starting with restocking defense. This is from Jared Ramsey over at the Detroit Free Press. And while I got you here, good news. Yesterday we talked about the Lions hiring a new offensive coordinator, John Morton, and that is now official. Yesterday afternoon, early evening, it broke, and that is officially now our new offensive coordinator. So we are bringing some in-house adjacent talent to our offensive coordinator room. So ideally the coordinator positions are set and we can start to move forward, which brings us to how we can start addressing the offensive and defensive needs, what we need to address in this offseason so that next year we can, if we go, say, 15-2 again and we don't get absolutely crippled on defense, we can make that push, get to and overcome the NFC Championship game in our route to a Super Bowl, because in the next 3 years, we need to be bringing the Vince Lombardi Trophy here for the first time ever to the Motor City. Our window is still pretty open, but every year things change. The tides change in the NFL, rules change, schemes change, coaches change. And at a certain point, that window is going to close. Not all of us can be the Buffalo Bills and have this just seemingly long open window that always gets slammed shut when you run into a buzzsaw that is the Kansas City refs. So let's go ahead and read this article. But guys, before we do, why don't you do me a rock solid favor if you haven't already? Why don't you walk on over and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any action. Like the video if you enjoy what we do here, or wait till the end of the video and like it then. I appreciate either or. Comment down below what you think about this article and some things that you think the Lions need to be focused on, what you think, just give me your take. Give me your hot opinion. We try to keep it pretty civil around here, and I try and engage with the community as much as possible. And then last but not least, go ahead and click that share button for me, even if you just copy the link to your clipboard. It helps the algorithm push my content out there and helps us grow. So I really, really appreciate that, guys. Let's get into it, fellas.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
And we are starting off with an article from the Detroit Free Press. 5 questions the Lions must tackle in 2025 offseason, starting with defense. The Detroit Lions have plenty of important decisions to make in the 2025 NFL offseason. We know the Lions went 15-2 and then won the North for the second consecutive year. And we earned a first-round bye week through the playoffs with what should have been home field advantage all the way to the Super Bowl, but we fell in the divisional round to the Washington Commies. Now we'll try and find a path forward to recreate similar success in the regular season. Here are 5 questions for General Manager Brad Holmes, Head Coach Dan Campbell, and the Lions to tackle. 2025, entering year 5 of this regime. Man, it's really already been 5 years. 5 years to turn this entire franchise around. First and foremost, continuity with new coordinators. Last week, Dan Campbell said he wanted to maintain continuity in his scheme on both sides of the ball. He made an in-house promotion by elevating Kelvin Sheppard, who we were pulling for here at the Hat and Beard Show. He was my guy. Promoted him from linebackers coach to defensive coordinator. Sheppard has been preparing under Aaron Glenn and will have Sean Dion Hamilton. He was previously the assistant linebackers coach, and he will be now taking over for Kelvin Sheppard as our linebackers coach, while Sheppard now becomes the mastermind behind our defense. And in case you're wondering, it's that guy right there. That's Sean Dion Hamilton. Kind of looks like George Floyd. That's all I'm going to say. Dude kind of looks like George Floyd. Dan Campbell doesn't see the philosophy changing. He thinks that we are where we are, and we've been that way since we've been here, or since he's been here, and he doesn't back down on that. The Lions on Tuesday agreed to hire Denver Broncos passing game coordinator John Morton as the new OC. He was on the staff in 2022. He's called one of the masterminds of the Lions scheme. The Lions had 7 Pro Bowl players in 2024, and 1 more named an All-Pro, that being safety Kirby Joseph. The offense will return starters in almost every single position except for right guard, where Kevin Zeitler is slotted to be a free agent, maybe considering retirement. He's getting up there in age. The defense has starters everywhere, all except strong side linebacker and 1 cornerback spot, pending Carlton Davis looming free agency. All those spots we need to address. Interior offensive line, get some more defensive backup, just to add depth, if anything. Really, I need to build out our beef in the middle of the offense and defensive line. All right. Balance of improving versus maintaining the roster. The Lions rank in the top 10 of available cap space in 2025, but will be in the bottom 5 for 2026 due to extensions that were handed out to some cornerstone players. The Lions have 31 pending free agents, though only a few starters because we brought in a lot of guys, to fill patchwork defense. Carlton Davis, Kevin Zeitler, and defensive tackle Levi Onwuzurike, who rumor has it he might be going to follow Aaron Glenn to the Jets. The Lions must find the right short-term deals to fill the roster because with our looming cap issues next offseason, we need to kind of patchwork through this year and allow the big contracts to kind of settle in. We can also start handing out contract extensions from the 22 draft class, that being Aiden Hutchinson, J-Mo, and Kirby Joseph. Obviously, Hutch is going to be due an extension and should be extended. J-Mo, Jameson Williams has the potential to be a game-breaking player. However, do you invest what should be big money to him? Do you invest big money into J-Mo when you could maybe try and move him for some draft capital? And then obviously Kirby Joseph, all-world, leads the NFL in interceptions since he entered the league. Obviously, you got to re-sign that cat. We are aware of a lot of guys that are either on expiring contracts that had good contributions to our team this year or guys that are worthy of an extension in our consideration for an extension, Holmes said last Thursday. Next issue, restocking the shelves. No matter who they bring back, there will be an inevitable roster churn. The front office will maintain its approach to using free agency to plug holes and the draft to find the best players available. The strategy turned out roster into a contender, and there's no reason to stray now. The Lions had only 1 rookie starter in 2024, that being first-round cornerback Terrion Arnold, but found other contributors and pieces that are in line for bigger roles if development keeps up. We did get a nice couple of sprinklings of players in there. Obviously, Enos Rakestraw, he was hurt most of the year. That would have been a nice piece to have, especially limping through the back half of the season. The Lions are in line for 7 draft picks and will be looking for an infusion of young talent to reach the next step. The Lions are not likely going to leverage the picks into a deal for a veteran player. Strength in the stars. Based on the law of average, the Lions should be healthier defensively after being ravaged in 2024. The Lions were down more than a dozen defensive players, with most coming on the line or at linebacker. Our meat and potatoes of the defense got ravaged. We were able to find a lot of dudes that were gritty and were able to grind it out. Ben Neiman comes to mind, who was that defensive tackle? O'Connell. He did pretty well till he got hurt, dinged up. The Lions' defense gradually deteriorated as injuries concentrated in the front 7. They still plugged some holes because of playmakers they had in Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, and Kirby Joseph, but lacked game-changing line. With Hutchinson, DJ Reader, and Zadarius Smith, and any new additions available, the Lions will look to get more from their defensive line. Also add in there, obviously, Aleem McNeil, and then any player that we might be able to snag in the draft. I have seen rumors, some people saying that DJ Reader could be a cap roster cut to free up some space because he had a relatively underwhelming first year in Detroit. Now, granted, he is more of a veteran player. I think this is his 3rd team. And his production wasn't really there. He was dinged up on the field, off the field, on the field, off the field. Played more than I think we give him credit for. and give him one more year. At least give him one more year to really solidify himself. I mean, he's a run defender, but he ended up pulling out 3 sacks this year from our defensive tackle spot for a guy who's supposed to be eating up 2 blockers at once. More of a run defending guy, 3 sacks out of him. You can't be mad at that. And obviously, his production would have been way down without Aiden Hutchinson, without Aleem McNeil, without a secondary pass rush guy. Zadarius Smith, you can almost say the exact same thing, though. Anybody who had any type of disillusion that Zadarius Smith was going to come in here and be Aiden Hutchinson's replacement was nuts. He is a complementary piece to an Aiden Hutchinson. He is what I've referred to many times on this channel as a bookend defensive end, someone a little bit more lead in their ass who can set the edge and allow a guy like Aiden Hutchinson to collapse the pocket into them, right? You'll see his sacks go up and his numbers be slightly more inflated because, as I've said time and time again, a guy like Aiden Hutchinson is an absolute game wrecker, and he elevates everybody else around him, not necessarily in their talent, but in their ability to take advantage of bad plays, mishaps, timings that are off, ill-advised throws, all caused from the game wrecker that is Aiden Hutchinson. Execution in the biggest moments. The 2024 playoffs have been a stark reminder of the few plays that can swing the outcome of each game. Unless you're the Kansas City refs, then you just bribe the refs and allow Andy Reid's dirty business deals to just limp you on through. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce runs under the disillusion that he is an all-world tight end. Well, at least Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones, you can see on their face that they know that this isn't real, that they are being carried by the league. But, sure, go ahead. A few plays can swing the outcome of each game as long as you're not the Kansas City refs. The Lions have learned the painful lesson 2 years in a row now, this year with the 5-turnover performance at home. They have the players, the leadership in place to find success, but they need to solve the postseason equation. And if that starts getting it right during the player acquisition period, yes, we do need to solve our postseason equation. However, at least give it some time. This is very new for our coaching staff, a lot of the players, and the fandom. During our playoff run, everybody was dogging the Lions. Oh, act like you've been there before. Motherfucker, we haven't been here before. We don't know how to act. Give us a little bit of time. Give us a little bit of time. So those are some questions. I think most of the important things to want. You've got your culture, you've got your identity, you've got players to fit that, and we've got that, Dan Campbell said last Monday. We've got players in every position you can ask to have success, and for those guys are made the right way. So absolutely, our window is open. Our window is open. Our window is open. And as long as these guys are all here and producing in the way they're producing, the window stays wide open, especially with that elite running attack that we have. Address a couple spots, take care of some issues, fill some voids, get healthy, and then add some I don't want to take away from the guys on the team, but add some better depth, some better talented depth on the team. So, all right, that's going to be it for this video, you guys. 5 things the Lions need to do in the offseason. What do you guys think? What do you think our top priority should be? Comment down below. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. As always, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. We're going to try and squeeze in another upload here, so hopefully we'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Stick around. We'll see you guys then. Until then, bonga bonga, frig off.